Hello, everyone. At MadPow, our purpose is to improve health, help people achieve financial well-being, help them learn, and help them connect. And in the process of bringing human-centered design to diverse organizations across the ecosystem, we've come to understand and build a unique perspective around what works, what doesn't, what are the gaps, what are the unmet needs, and what are the opportunities. And I'm here with you today to share how, wow, that's far back, how empathy-inspired and purpose-driven design can help us to find our direction as people, can fuel business innovation, and can help us achieve impact at the societal level. The world hates change, yet it's the only thing that's brought progress. We know that change is difficult, yet it's absolutely necessary. We see the oftentimes painful state of affairs in health in terms of how people experience the system. We feel it. But we also feel the hope associated with the notion that there's got to be a better way. We desire change. We know that it's needed. I believe that design provides us with an invitation to change and a method for bringing it about. Basically, design gets us from where we are to where we want to be. In this section of talks, we'll be talking about how to guide and empower positive change through empathy, purpose, motivation, and culture. I'll be talking about how empathy can help us find our purpose, and then Dustin DiTomaso, the head of our behavior change practice, will be talking about how we can design for lasting and sustaining behavior change. And then Adam Connor, who heads up our organizational design practice at MadPow, will be talking about how do we create cultures of collaboration, creativity, and innovation, and actually bring the amazing experiences we envision into the marketplace. Empathy is core to human-centered design, and I believe it can help guide us to make the changes we need to make. Empathy elevates our consciousness, inspires our purpose, and helps us to imagine the possibilities. I want to start out with a question. How many of you have been seriously affected by a health condition, either your own or through a loved one? So many of us, right? It's part of the human experience. In the process of coming to grips with the adversity I was experiencing in my own life, I started to think about the concept of wounded healer. Facing the addiction of a loved one, the diagnosis of one of my children with an autoimmune disease, going through divorce, and coping with my own depression and anxiety opened my eyes to this concept and affirmed the notion. And all of these things shaped my perspective. In sharing my patient's story through joining Regina Holliday's walking gallery, giving a soul-bearing presentation at the XX in Health retreat, and hearing the patient stories of so many in industry got me thinking about this. So I did a little bit of research. And I found that Carl Jung actually coined this term wounded healer. He said a good half of every treatment that probes it all deeply consists in the doctor's examining himself. It is his own hurt that gives a measure of his power to heal. And we know hurt. We know what it's like to experience pain, confusion, fear, and anxiety. And that gives us a greater capacity to understand the pain, confusion, fear, and anxiety of another. That empathy, that emotion, that awakening has created a burning desire within us to heal the system so that other people won't have to experience what we've experienced. And hopefully through healing the system, we'll experience a little bit of healing ourselves. Our empathy helps us find our passion, and it fuels our drive. And we need that drive because we're fighting the good fight here in health. Things ain't easy. And people will tell us we're wrong. You may have heard the phrase, he who hears not the music thinks the dancer is mad. We need to keep pushing ahead, and we'll do what we continue to do because we must. Insist upon pretense, and you'll have it. Insist upon mediocrity, and it's yours. Insist upon beauty, and you will find it. Insist upon learning, and you will learn. Insist upon living with great passion, and you will see differently. I believe that that adversity makes us stronger. Our own adversity as individuals, but also the adversity that our industry faces as a whole. We have no shortage of adversity in health. We are still #1 in cost and 17th in outcomes. Medical bills are still the #1 reason for bankruptcy in the United States. And there are so many complexities to contend with, from new FDA regulations, HIPAA, organizations with competing perspectives, institutional residue, and few easier, clear solutions. Also, our health system is becoming increasingly burdened because the American lifestyle is making us sicker and sicker. Whether it's sedentary behavior, chronic stress, or the standard American diet, otherwise known as SAD, we need to improve the experiences that we deliver to the people we serve, patients, families, clinicians. There's so much to be done. But we also need a design to prevent them from becoming patients to begin with. And I believe that that's possible. So lots of adversity, but it makes us stronger, even better equipped to face the challenges ahead of us. What's good for the people we serve is ultimately good for the business. Empathy and human centricity will help our organizations better serve the people that they call customers and patients, but also it will deliver bottom line business results. The business world is waking up to the value of empathy, such that it's being written about in the Harvard Business Review, where Belinda Palmer says, "There's nothing soft about it. Empathy is a hard skill that should be required from the boardroom to the shop floor." And companies are now training in empathy. Telefonica Germany did an empathy training program, and within 6 months, improved their customer satisfaction by 6%. These are metrics that businesses can appreciate. But this is leading to buzzwordification. Bingo, empathy is a buzzword now. I'm sure you've realized it. And some of us even might roll our eyes when we hear the word empathy. We need to celebrate the fact that all of our collective hard work has gotten empathy into the discourse and consciousness of the industry, so good job there. But there's danger in the fact that it's a buzzword, because it can lead to cookie-cutter implementations of empathy. But we need to remember that empathy is not the end, it's the means. It's not a trend, it's a philosophy, and stay true to the spirit of it in the work that we're doing. And a focus on empathy and human centricity will help our organizations mature in terms of their adoption of human-centered design, hopefully moving them from hitting it with the pretty stick to valuing user experience as a core discipline and critical success factor, to putting the customer, the patient, the person at the center, and empathy being the focus and woven into the DNA such that it shapes the direction of the business and the decisions that are made. And that's important because right now, the patient is left at the center of a very disconnected ecosystem to navigate on their own. The health system functions, but it doesn't come as close to whole health as we would hope possible, considering our human capacity to care, to connect, and to innovate. But I believe that we can move beyond the transactional and start to help people throughout their health journey. We can build trust. We can be there when they need us most. The experience is a byproduct of how we're organized to deliver it. If we're a mess of silos on the inside of our organizations and as an industry, the resulting experience will be a mess as well. But I believe that we can gather together around shared objectives and design an ecosystem of health. I believe that new forms of collaboration, integration, and partnership will lead to unprecedented innovation and unimaginable results. Basically, collaboration is the new innovation. Instead of one-off products and services, what can we do together to service the patients that we all are servicing? It was that spirit of collaboration that led us to partner with the CDC, JSI, and nonprofit AIDS services organizations, as well as HIV patients themselves, to design an HIV medication adherence application that puts the person at the center, involves social support, and connects improved adherence with lab results. Basically, shared values plus shared action equals shared profit, both financial and social. This isn't idealism. This is good business. It's an experience economy. Other industries have woken up to this fact. It's not about the products and services and transactions and self-service anymore. It's about the perceived value that we deliver to people and the relationship that they have with us. Now imagine the impact we can make to society as a whole. If a large national bank helped its customers save just 5% more, that would be a benefit to the customer, a benefit to the business, and would also have impact on society. When society wins, business wins. It isn't enough to make a profit anymore. And this is going to call our organizations to reshape their more traditional boundaries. And we're seeing this happen as insurance companies move past being your partner in adjudication to your partner in health. And as pharmaceutical companies move beyond drug development and into digital therapies that can help with the healing process. Consumers understand the impact that the corporations that they do business with have on society, and it's shaping the direction they make as consumers. There's a new discipline forming in design called transition design, and it's so exciting. It's where social innovation meets service design, and I hope to have a whole track dedicated to that next year at HXR. I believe that purpose will lead to profit, and I'm not alone. Roy Spence, who wrote the book, It's Not What You Sell, But What You Stand For, he said that great companies have an authentic sense of purpose, a real definitive statement around the difference they're trying to make in the world, in a workplace with the energy and vitality to bring that to life. And I believe as organizations operationalize their purpose, we'll see corporate social responsibility and customer experience disciplines converge. We'll see companies figure out not just the advertising program or through philanthropy how to make a difference in the world, but how to integrate their purpose into how they do business, their products, their services, their experiences. Cigna has a decided focus on wellness, and that purpose led them to partner with Samsung to create one of the first all-digital health coaches. And we worked with them to design a behavior change strategy that involves customized pathways that help people track, set goals, and track toward them, maintaining motivation along the way. I think that we can design with the goal of human flourishing. And of course, that's a lofty goal. But every design decision we make, every project we work on, if we do those things in the context of purpose, those things will stack up. And as an industry, we can cause a sea change. So a little bit on methods. Many of you have used these methods, but I want to talk about some twists to the methods that we use in human-centered design. I'm a designer, and when designing, I'm in service to other people, trying to help individuals thrive and organizations thrive. But we're seeing a transition happening from designer as maker to designer as student, facilitator, and teacher. Research-inspired design helped us to understand the people we were designing for so we can make better solutions for them. Now, more and more, we're going to be designing solutions with them, alongside of them. We still need to do research, of course, and become students of the problem and inclusive in our approach, and getting outside of the four walls of our organizations and getting face time with the people we serve. We'll come to understand what will drive real meaning and value and purpose in their daily lives, what will truly guide, comfort, inform, motivate. And we can invite others along with us in that process, immersing stakeholders. Humana did a good job of this. They actually paired an ethnographer with C-suite executives, and they spent a day per month with a Medicare member, and they built empathy for those members and came to understand the real problems and the real situations to the point where they were motivated to fund an 80-person consumer experience team as a result. When we invite others to the table, we can help them imagine the possibilities, inviting patients, partners, stakeholders. Design is not a holy grail just for designers. We can teach other people the methods and invite them to the process. And in working with them through participatory design activities like game storming and generative toolkits and empathy mapping, we can build greater understanding and context. And I do believe making is research because we build empathy and see things from a different perspective. We have a responsibility to introduce others in our organizations to the methods of human-centered design and evangelize the benefits. And training can help, it's a start, but how do we really immerse people in human-centered design? And how do we train them where they're at so they can integrate these methods into their practice and put them into action? Personas, they can guide the decision-making process and design. They can help us build empathy, but Indy Young points out that to actually develop empathy, you need reasoning, reactions, and the guiding principles. You need an authentic narrative about the person's story, their motivations, their struggles, so that you can really put yourselves in their shoes. Sarah points out in her talk, Design for People at Their Worst, that if we're able to consider users at their worst and make experiences feel good for them when they're the most vulnerable, most difficult, then we can make them work for everybody. And this is a core tenet of universal design. When we design for the edge cases, when we design for the extremes, we actually make things better for everybody, because we may find ourselves in any of those situations at any point in time throughout our human experience. We can translate purpose and research insights into principles and establish guiding design principles. Aspirationally, we want to guide, we want to comfort, delight, engage, what have you. Design for the happy path, sure, but also consider the rocky path, consider what could go wrong, and have principles that safeguard the populations we serve from the things that can happen. We can reformulate the hierarchy of needs, considering our research insights, considering our purpose, and this can bring focus and help us prioritize. We still have shiny object syndrome in the industry, where we're convinced the tool, the technology can give us all the answers and solve all of our problems, but we need to first deliver experiences that are trustworthy, safe, easy, kind, meaningful before we go there. We can start to audit every touch point in the ecosystem against the hierarchy of needs. How are we performing against our purpose? How is the experience across these touch points? What are the levers and triggers that we have to affect the experiences that people are having with us? And of course, we can evaluate and measure. In order to have continued momentum in a positive direction, we need to try to speak the language of the people we're trying to influence inside of our organizations, and even try to help them reframe the discussion. So maybe as opposed to ROI, we look at ROE, return on experience. Can we all agree that experience will benefit our organization? Okay, well then how do we measure experience? We need to make sure, though, that in our measurements, we don't lose the humanity in the why. Why are these numbers saying what they are? And we can immerse people in the stories of patients, of customers, so that they can understand beyond measurement, really intuitively, what's going on. We need to move beyond design thinking and into design doing, putting all these thoughts and ideas into action. And that's what this conference is about, to learn from each other and put this stuff into practice. And all of the things I'm sharing with you has created a burning desire within us at MadPow to move beyond design thinking into design doing, and we're doing the best we can. It actually led to us forming the Center for Health Experience Design, which I'm very excited to announce to you today. We're officially launching at this conference, where we're hoping to get organizations together from across the ecosystem to collaborate. The center serves as a conduit for the delivery of health experiences that help people heal and flourish. The center will serve as an experiential design and innovation resource, helping organizations form and grow their innovation competency in-house, serve as a strategic injection of design services, and convene and connect individuals across the ecosystem who have shared interests so we can start solving some of these complex problems together. We're so happy that Brigham and Women's Hospital and MIT Hacking Medicine are on board as charter members, and we invite you to become a member as well. Please do talk to me if you are interested, and we have a booth outside where you can get more information too. One of the first projects of the center is what's your burning mission in health? You've heard a lot from me today about mission and direction. I invite you to share your mission and your direction outside. It will be illustrated, hung up, tweeted if you like, and then you can take that back with you to your home, to your office, as a reminder of why you're doing the good work you're doing in health. So in closing, empathy-inspired and purpose-driven design will help us find our direction, fuel business innovation, and deliver positive human impact. So I want to thank you again for being here. I'm so inspired and amazed by the brilliant minds in this community, and I always walk away from this conference with my head swimming of ideas and the things that we can do together and all of the possibilities. So I'm so excited to see how the next couple of days unfolds.